Hello and welcome to LE Live, the Points Edition. I'm Adam Schwab and I'm very glad to have with me in the beach studio Steve Huey from iFly Flat.
Thank you.
Welcome Steve.
Yeah.
Steve is the preeminent points expert in Australia and he's here to share his wisdom with our fantastic members. So Steve, thanks for joining us. And why don't you tell a little bit about your business and how you founded it and what you do essentially?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, so I founded iFly Flat about 5 years ago. And really it came on the back of hearing people just wasting their points. So people were, like the worst story I hear is when people use their points to redeem for gift vouchers. Because it's like getting a $100 gift voucher but paying $700 for it. Because people don't know the value of their points. So really what I did was I started iFly Flat to help people use their points and find seats that they can't find. So it started 5 years ago and our business is like a points concierge service. So if customers have points, they want to go somewhere, they just tell us what the dates and we'll go and look for their flights for them and book, but specifically first and business class. And then we have another business, same business but advice. How can you earn more points for less effort?
So essentially, I guess there's two separate tricks to maximise how you fly. So the first challenge is making sure you're earning the most points you can. Yep. And the second challenge is picking the right flights with those points. Yes. So just looking at the first challenge and it's earning them without giving away all your secrets, because obviously we want people to drive to iFly Flat, but just some really broad rules of thumb. Some cards are better than others, and just broadly speaking, what's the best way to structure your affairs without before, if you don't want to speak to yourself, what can people do at home just to make sure they're maximising their spend? Yeah,
well, definitely. The key is actually to put everything you can on credit cards. And I value American Express cards over the others, mainly because American Express cards can actually earn about triple the points of a Visa and MasterCard. So the number one thing is whenever I tell someone, get an Amex and use it, they always say, oh, I can't use it. But the thing is, because every Amex dollar gets you triple points, then that means the more chances you can use it, the better. So number one is try and spend more money on cards to earn more points. And then once you got the points, then we can talk about what you can do with them.
I've always been a long time client of Steve's actually, and one of the first things that Steve said, and I won't go into too much detail because you've got to join up, but if you, Amex points, not only do you get more points, but actually Amex points are actually worth a lot more when you redeem them, aren't they? So say I'm using Singapore Airlines, which is one of the better airlines to fly with. If you're redeeming points, so Amex versus Citi, ANZ, any other option, you actually get a higher conversion when you're converting across. So not only are you earning more, but you're actually getting more value, aren't you?
That's right, you get more value, plus also you have the ability to convert to more airlines. Because one of the things is, you're just earning a whole bunch of points, but you never really know what you want to do with them later. And when you have a destination in mind, then you can then choose to flick into whichever airline you want later. It means that you have bigger flexibility. And I think the point that you were getting to was the credit cards make it a bit more complex, because they actually earn points that convert to less airlines and also at a lower ratio. So 100,000 Amex points is worth more than 100,000 Citibank points, for example.
So I guess the second step is once you've got your points, so you've earned your Amex points ideally, as you say, and you say I've got 400,000 Amex points sitting in my Amex account. What typically are the best airlines to use it for, and looking at first, business economy or other sorts of points, gift cards as you say aren't great. What's the difference in conversion value for comparing a first class versus comparing a gift card? How much more value are you getting for first class?
Yeah, definitely. So maybe we say we'll start to do 100,000 points in the easy thing. I did some analysis. So 100,000 points can get you about a $700 gift card. The same 100,000 points can get you a business class flight to Los Angeles one way. That's worth probably between $3,000 to $4,000. So if you compare the difference is $4,000 worth a $700 gift card. The difference is quite large. And then obviously the more points you get, the more destinations open up. So for example, 100,000 points get you one way business class to Los Angeles or economy return. 200,000 points will get you business class return. And then the more points you can get to flight. So one of the best redemptions I've had is 192,000 points, flying one way Sydney to Dubai on Emirates first class, and that gave me access to the shower, first class suites. I'm pretty sure I drank probably $700 worth of alcohol. And the taxes were tiny.
So you mentioned some of the really cool stuff you get when you fly at these higher classes. So you've obviously flown a fair bit flying flat. How do you compare some of the great, the Singapores, the Emirates, the US airlines, Qantas, of course, Virgin? How do you rate all the different airlines in terms of your experiences on them?
I will rate Singapore Suites as probably number one, because the service is always consistent, always. I've never had a bad experience with them. And then next up, I would say Emirates First Class, because it's just wow factor. The shower on board, the business class bar at the back of the A380. So, and they've actually got this, I don't know why they have it, but they have this automatic button you press and drinks come up the side. You can ask someone for drinks too, but you've got another set of drinks there. So I think it's just fancy.
Yeah.
And then I guess the next two are Etihad and Qatar. I think are really interesting.
Yeah. So what's you hear about the Etihad bar and all that sort of stuff. So how does Etihad compare to Qantas, for example, who are co-chair partners? So often you fly half Qantas, half Etihad, or so.
So Qantas and Emirates are partners, and then Virgin and Etihad are partners. So the A380 is really the plane to get, because that's so smooth, so big, so much space. And the beauty is that these days they build a cabin in first class so big that you have this massive shower. The shower's probably bigger than the shower at home. So imagine that you're just having a shower on board on the plane. It's bigger than the one at home, and you're at 30,000 feet.
So we've got a question from the audience. Great question. So Joe's asked, can you help us with finding flights when we book our holidays with Luxury Escape? So I guess that's probably, I think a lot of people probably do that. Luxury Escape provides great value resort properties, whilst we have a flights team for sure, but a lot of people have points, so they can buy the resort with Luxury Escape, potentially join up to iFly Flat to fly pretty inexpensively business class, I'm guessing. Yeah.
So the money that you're saving from going with Luxury Escapes means that you can then have all this money to spend elsewhere and earn points too. So it's all about aligning whether the flight's available for the escape, but even if it doesn't align, you've got all these points to be used next time. So the beauty about using points is flexibility. So knowing where you want to go, the dates you're willing to fly, because once you've found a seat, you've got to move fast. You can't sort of decide, have a chat to your uncles and aunties and come back, as the chances of flights are gone.
Natasha's asked a great question as well, just on that same topic. Is generally how far in advance, if you found a great package and you want to travel in 6 months or 4 months' time, how far in advance typically do you need to book your frequent flyer flights? Is the conception that I've got to book it a year out on Qantas, otherwise I won't get them? So is that the same for all airlines?
It's not. So booking a year out when the window opens, but along the way the frequent flyer seats change all the time. So basically, as we speak, the flights are actually changing. So the key of you have to keep looking. The more you keep looking, the more chances to find. But to answer the question directly is, depends how many passengers. If you have one passenger, you can actually just wait until 2 or 3 weeks out to departure, and there might be a seat.
Nice. You
got more passengers, then the more early you need to look, because you have to try and find, say, 4 seats together. And there might be 2 seats together, but 2 seats have been booked along the way. Yeah. So more time the better. But you don't have to be 1 year out.
Question without notice. Do you know how many frequent flyer seats typically in a business class cabin will they allot to frequent flyers? Yeah. So SQ or Qantas or Etihad. What chances do you have of getting a frequent flyer flight?
Yeah, it's pretty good chances. I guess we book seats all the time. So I guess from our perspective, we've seen seats booked all the time. But how many seats? Say a cabin typically has maybe 25 business class seats. They may release about 8. Or so, but it all comes down to how many seats they sell. So if they think they can sell a lot, because the airline's business is to sell as many seats for cash as possible, and then they allocate some seats for frequent flyers and the rest. So if the seats are not selling very well, they might give out more seats for frequent flyers. So it always keeps changing. The key is to always keep looking.
So we've got a trivia question. So those who watched our last episode will know that the first person to correctly answer will receive a $100 Luxury Escape travel credit. So amazing prize. And the question is, what is the best price Steve has paid for a first class ticket using points? And you'll find the answer on iflyflat.com.au. So if you hit the iFly Flat website and communicate to us via our comment section, asking our helpful producer, and be in the running to win a $100 Luxury Escapes credit. So fantastic prize. So we've got Steve for a couple more minutes. So just, I guess just to wrap it up. So in terms of your favourite airline, it's SQ. So in terms of other, let's say you're looking to, probably the toughest destination to get points for is the US. What's the best way to get to the US using points? Because it's such a high load market that it can be quite hard. So Asia's easy, US is hard. What's the best tricks to sort of get to the US?
Yeah, so I'll talk about Los Angeles and New York because they've got different answers. So Los Angeles, most people want to fly direct. So you've got Qantas or Virgin flies direct, and then you've got sort of Delta and United as well. So Qantas and Virgin are the most easiest, probably not easy, but they have many flights direct. But when you're thinking about New York, there's more options open up. So Cathay via Hong Kong is a very good option. Because if you look on the map, it's like a triangle. Obviously, flying direct is better, but it's actually not much longer to fly for Hong Kong. The beauty,
how long's that flight to Hong Kong to New York?
Not sure. It's about 8 hours to Hong Kong, and then it might be about 14 hours across. But the beauty of going for Hong Kong, you're still international the whole way. Whereas if you go by Los Angeles, you're going to switch to domestic plane, and you can deal with all the American immigration at that point.
Yeah.
So, and then there's other options even go via Tokyo. Not much more difference. It's a little bit higher on the map and cross. And some people even choose to fly via Dubai.
And what's the best airline for points? You're going via Tokyo. Who's best to use?
Qantas. Qantas is so one world. And also via Dubai is another option too.
Absolutely.
So a lot of people actually think via Dubai is actually really, really far. But once again, international cabin all the way to Dubai, stop off for a couple of days, maybe get some from Luxury Escapes Travel, and then fly direct over, straight through to New York, and that's very peaceful.
We've got 1 minute left. Just your three favourite lounges you've been to, any city, any airline.
I think I have to say Qantas First Class Lounge is fantastic. I've been to one in First Class Lounge in Narita Airport, which is it's not as fancy as the Qantas one, but everything was immaculate. And the third one was Etihad First Class where I got a haircut.
Fantastic. Thanks so much, Steve, for your time. Exceptionally generous for your advice. iFlyFlat.com.au is Steve's website. As a member myself, can highly recommend it. And this has been Luxury Escapes Live. Thanks for joining us.
Cool. Thank you.